You're ready.
We live in a nation that thinks we know the most about human rights. We idolize Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. for his efforts in trying to make this country a truly fair and equal one. We call ourselves a nation under God. But are we? See, the world today attempts to deal in equality and fairness. Equality is defined as having the same rights and social status. Equality seeks sameness. Fairness is defined as having or exhibiting a disposition that is free from favoritism and bias. Fairness seeks impartiality. But God seeks something more than that. God seeks justice. Justice is the moral principle of rightness. Jesus gives us an example of justice in John 8, 1-7. And John says, Jesus went to the Mount of Olives. Early in the morning, he went to the temple. The people came to him, and he sat down and taught them. Now the scribes and the Pharisees found a woman who had been caught in the act of adultery. And placing her in the midst, they said to him, Teacher, this woman has been caught in adultery. Now in the law of Moses, you commanded us to stone such a woman. So what do you say? They said this only to test him, so that they could have some charges to bring against him. Jesus bent down and wrote with his finger on the ground. Now, if our God dealt in equality, he would have said, he who has an equal amount of sins as her, throw the first stone. And if our God dealt in fairness, he would have said, he who has less sins than her, throw the first stone. But no, our God is a just God, and he stood up and said to the scribes and the Pharisees, he who is without sin, throw the first stone. This is what true justice looks like. Jesus, who is truth, brings the truth that even the scribes and the Pharisees are sinners. And with this example of justice, Jesus teaches us two lessons. One is that to judge a person, you must truly know and love that individual. And this is why it is not our job to judge people, because we are not capable of knowing and loving someone the way our Creator, Jesus Christ, is. And because of his incredible knowledge and unconditional love for us, he knows when to put us through a time of pain and suffering. And that brings me to my next lesson, which is mercy. Justice and mercy go hand in hand, because in those times of pain and suffering, he is there for us to hold on to. This is the kind of justice that America, as a nation, needs to be displaying, especially this next generation. And I realized this is becoming an increasingly important problem when I came across a poem written by a freshman in high school whose family is from Pakistan. In Pakistan, they don't enjoy as many freedoms as we do. And in Pakistan, they don't think of themselves as a nation under God. And yet in Pakistan, she can share her beliefs without fear of judgment. But when she comes to America, with supposed liberty and justice for all, she cannot share her beliefs because she's afraid people will judge her and people will shun her. So I ask you, is this what true justice looks like? Is this what a nation under God is called to look like? Do we follow the commands Jesus gave us concerning justice? In Exodus 23:6, we are commanded to not deny or deprive anyone of justice. In Leviticus 19:15, we are commanded to not change justice. And in Deuteronomy 16:34, we are called to follow justice and justice